everyone, my name is Ashna and I'll be your virtual tutor today. In this lesson, we're going to be learning about the area of 2D shapes and compound shapes. So first, some examples of 2D shapes that we would find the area of. We have triangles, 3-sided, rectangles with 4 sides, squares with 4 sides, and then a circle. So let's start with rectangles. So for a rectangle, the long side is called the length and the short side is the width. So to find the area of a rectangle, we do length times the width, and that's all it is. So let's try an example. We have a rectangle. Remember, its area is length times width. So the short side, the width is 3 inches, and the length here is 8 inches. So all we have to do is multiply them together. 3 inches times 8 inches, and we get 24 inches squared. So we need to make sure our units are squared because we're multiplying inches by inches. So inches times inches is inches squared. Okay, so here we have another rectangle. We have 9 inches by 5 inches. So you multiply them together and you get 5 times 9 is 45 inches squared. So let's go on to squares. All squares are rectangles, but all rectangles are not squares. So since squares are rectangles, we just have to use the same formula as the area of a rectangle. So the area is length times width, but the only difference is that in a square, the length is actually equal to the width. But that doesn't change how we actually solve it. So here we will have a square, and both the sides are 3 feet. So we do 3 feet times 3 feet, which is actually the same thing as doing 3 squared, and then that is 9 feet squared. Here's another example. Here we have 8 inches times 8 inches. So all we're going to do is multiply those together. 8 times 8 feet, or which is the same thing as 8 squared feet, which gives us 64 feet squared. Okay, let's go on to triangles now, the 3-sided. So the formula is a little different here. It's going to be 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. And here's why. So let's forget the formula for a second. If we take a triangle and then we have the exact same triangle again, then we flip that over and we put them together, we have basically just formed a rectangle. So 2 triangles forms a rectangle. And we know the area of a rectangle is base times height. But since we want the area of a triangle, that's half the rectangle. So the area of the triangle becomes half times the base of the triangle times the height. So all we do is we're doing the area of the rectangle, but dividing it by 2 because that's the area of the triangle. So let's go ahead and try it. So here the base of the triangle is 3 feet, and the height of the triangle is 4 feet. So in order to do it, we do 1/2 times 3 feet times 4 feet, which is 1/2 times 12 feet squared, and then 1/2 times 12 is 6 feet squared. That's our final answer. Let's try another one. So here, our base is 5 feet, and our height is 8 feet. So notice how our height is down the middle. It's the highest to the lowest point. And in the other example, the height was on it was a right triangle, so the height was just the tallest side. But in this one, since there is no vertical side, we just draw a straight line down the middle. So our height is 8 feet, and in order to solve this, we go 1/2 times 5 feet times 8 feet, which is 1/2 times 40 feet squared, which gives us 20 feet squared. So now you guys can go ahead and try an example for triangles. So I will give you the dimensions of the triangle here. So we have a triangle whose base is 3 inches and height is 12 inches. So I have the formula up there too, so go ahead and pause the video and try to see if you can find the area of this triangle. Okay, So hopefully you were able to find it. We're going to do 1/2 times base times height, which is 12 inches times 3 inches, which is 1/2 times 36. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be inches squared, which gives us 18 inches squared. Good job. Okay, now we're going to go into parallelograms. So this is what a parallelogram looks like. And the area of it is length times width. And here's why. So if we look closely at a parallelogram, we can see that there's a small triangle right there. And if we actually move that triangle to this side, we see that we have formed just a rectangle, which is area is length times width. So we are doing the same thing, which is why the formula is the same. So in a parallelogram, you're doing length times width again. Length times width. So here's an example. We have the length is 6 inches, the width is 7 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 6 times 7, we have 42 inches squared. Okay, and then this one, our length is 11 inches, and our width is 5 inches. So we're going to do 5 times 11 inches, which is 55 inches squared. Okay, now we're going to go into compound shapes, which is finding the area of shapes consisting of shapes we have already learned the area of. So it's a combination of shapes. So here we have a compound shape, and if we look closely, we can see that it's just a rectangle and a triangle together. So giving the dimensions, we can now solve it. So let's go into the area of the rectangle first. We're going to find the area separately. So the area of the rectangle is length times width. So we're going to do 4 inches times 8 inches, which gives us 32 inches squared. For the triangle, we can see that the base is 5 inches in orange, and the height is going to be the same as the height of the rectangle because it's they go up to the same point. So it's 5 times 8 times half, which is 20 inches squared. But now, since they are combined, we have to add those two together. So 32 inches plus 20 inches is 52 inches squared. And that's the total area of this shape we have here. Let's try this one. So this is an arrow pointing up, and we want to find the area of the arrow. So if we fill that in, we can see it's a triangle and a rectangle again. So solving the rectangle, looks like the length, it's 3 feet times 8 feet, which gives us 24 feet squared. And let's look at the triangle. So we can see that the height of the triangle is 2 feet, but we don't have the base totally given to us. We have to do some math first. So if we look at it, we can see that each side of the triangle, there's a 1 feet and a 1 feet, but we don't know that middle section of the triangle. Well, since it's the same as the rectangle, we can put that 3 feet up. So that means the whole base of the triangle is 1 foot plus 3 feet plus 1 foot again. So that whole side is 5 feet. So the base of the triangle is 5 feet and the height is 2 feet. So we can go ahead and solve. We do 1/2 times 5 feet times 2 feet, which gives us 5 feet squared. So the total area of the whole arrow, we have to add them together. So 24 plus 5, which equals 29 feet squared. Okay, so now it's your turn to try finding an area of a compound shape. So here we go. Here we have a cross, like an addition sign, and each side of it is 4 inches. So just a hint, that kind of reminds me of a square, right? So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can find a way to divide this shape into different smaller shapes that you know how to find the area of. So pause the video and we'll go over it when you come back. Okay, so hopefully you were able to figure out that if we divide it, we can see that we have 5 equal squares, which each side being 4 inches. So the area of one square is going to be length times the width of one square, which is 4 inches times 4 inches, giving us 16 inches squared. And then, since we have 5 of them, 4 on the outsides, 1 in the middle, we're going to do 16 inches squared times 5, since they're all the same, which gives us 80 inches squared, which is the area of the cross. So that was the end of this lesson. Make sure to check out the presentation to find some fun games to practice your new skills of area of shapes. And I hope that made sense, and thanks for watching.